Hello there guys, and welcome to the final race of Season 9 of Elite Racing League in Abu Dhabi. For the first time in this league, I participated in the race finale in Season 5. Both Seasons 5 and 6 I couldn't participate in that race because I was outside my house, and yeah, that was just terrible timing for me. And yeah, I always wanted to participate in the race finale, and for the first time in this league I could do that thing. So well, hope we can end this streak of no wins, and maybe we can get our one and only win of this season. But I don't think it will happen, but well, let's see if we can do. I just joined mid-qualy because I have THR Ragnaroks. I could barely participate in that race, although I just felt very bad because I just left mid-race and got into this race. And yeah, I was just a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, I felt bad. But here we are in qualifying, and I'm just going for my in-lap, but I won't do a flying lap now. It's just going to be just an in-lap and a flying lap that will turn into an in-lap, because look at the time. There's less than 6 minutes before the qualifying ends, and I don't think I'll get a flying lap and then another one in this amount of time. But yeah, I'll just do this out lap and then an in lap, and then after that I just wait for the 2-minute mark and then just go to the real flying lap. So well, let's see if we can see if I am competitive in Abu Dhabi, because I haven't practiced a lot. So well, let's see. On my in lap, it was a little bit decent, that in lap, and yeah, I was thinking I would be competitive. And now we are about to begin our one and only flying lap of this session. Time to be really serious, and we are about to begin in a few seconds, and it is now. We are now heading into turn 1. Hope I do this corner decently. Well, I just didn't touch my my expected apex, and now we are about to enter turn 5, which is going to be a big hairpin. Just a little bit decent, but I was just taking an unusual racing line because, well, I think because I saw that the racing line should be a little bit different. Now we are about to begin the second straight of the circuit. Well, not straight because there are some few corners, but it isn't that I should be braking. It is just flat out. Now we are into this big left-hand corner, and we are heading into turn 12 and now into turns 13 and 14. We're setting decent lap times, and we were seeing that Tamal, who had another username, sets a great lap time, and we are about to cross the line with the lap time of 2:22. 1:22.667, which puts us into the front row. As you can see, you might wonder, wait, he's in Tamal, but yes, he is, but well, as I said earlier, he has another username. I don't know what happened with relations in my team in THR, but I don't know, maybe he left that team, and well, at least he's still fast. But we are on the front row. Happy Bonsai is in 3rd place, Jolton is in 4th, Jovan in 5th, Churrasco in 6th, and my teammate Zodiac in 7th. Hope you have paused the video in order to see the full qualifying results. well, at least the top 14, although I don't think there were more than 14 players in this session, so let's get into the pre-race strategy. So here it is, the pre-race strategy. It's going to be a default medium hard, and this time I decided to just adjust a little bit the front wing. In qualifying, I just had lower wings in order to have a little bit of per straight line speed, because on my practice race I realized that I was just very slow in the straight lines, and that meant that the setup I got in time trials was having too much downforce. So I decided to just lower a little bit, like 34-28 I think. No, I think it was 30. Well, I just adjusted my front wing from 34 to 31 before the race. So yeah, that's the only setup change I got. And in terms of fuel, I decided to just go with the underfuel zone, almost getting into it, with 52 kilograms and 29.3 laps of fuel. So let's now head into the race. Alright, so we are about to begin the race with the fat red lights being turned on, and now they have. We are on the way for the final race of Season 9 Electric Racing Cup, and we are getting a decent start into turn 1 version. That's Happy Bonsai rear-ended us and we went wide. That's not a great start, and we're falling down to P3. Fortunately I didn't have any damages, but still, yeah, that is just a bad start. And unfortunately we lost some gap to Jordan because we locked our rear brakes and we almost spun. And unfortunately we dropped down to P4 because Happy Bonsai got a better exit than me, of course, and he just overtook me in the straight, and I decided to just go for a switchback, but I couldn't, well, switchback no, because, yeah, what am I saying, but we are heading into turn 9 into the left hand corner. Unfortunately, around the outside is not an ideal one to go for it, and we are heading into the final sector, and we are dive bombing with Happy Bonsai. We make contact and we are heading to the hotel section. We have already been into sector 3. I went a little bit wide and we are heading to turn 15. I didn't get a good exit, and we are heading into lap 2, and we're seeing that Jovan is about to overtake us down the inside into turn 1. He's about to do it, and we almost get overtaken by him. We're barely fighting for P4, and he's now overtaking us. That is just very terrible for us. And we're seeing that Memekus is trying to overtake us down the inside into turn 5, and I could defend in this time. Going for the outside into turn 5 is an ideal one because you get a better exit. Going a little bit wide, not touching the apex into turn 5 is faster than touching the apex, and we are going to the chicane and beginning the second straight, and we are planning to overtake Jovan. I decided to not do, but we are getting closer and closer, and I decided to just go for it and into turn 9. And of course, not a good one, because going around the outside into turn 9 is not a fast option. And we are heading into hotel section. We just re-end Jovan, and we are heading into turn 13. And unfortunately, Memekus just made us spin, and we've fallen down into 11th place, outside of the points. And we are seeing that Michaelos is about to overtake us and get down to dead last. Yeah, that is just a terrible one, and the DRS is now enabled, but maybe it'll be a disadvantage for me because Michaelos may have DRS and overtake me. Yeah, That's just a terrible start of the race. Man, I cannot believe in the race finals I got into terrible things. Well, it's just a long way to go. It barely started, so a lot of things can happen, and well, that thing is that we're down to last place because Michaels overtook us very easily, and yeah, that is just terrible, very terrible. And we're seeing that Michaels is trying to not give me tow, and I think he's done it successfully. I think he has better straight line speed than me. I think he has low wings, and we almost rear-end him, but yeah, that's just beginning to go to misery for me. That is just terrible. Well, hope we can come back, but well, let's see if we can overtake these two drivers and get into the points. Meanwhile, lap 5, and we are up into P11 because Dalton just went to the pits, and we are seeing that Sandia is... What the hell happened? The virtual safety car just got deployed, and we're seeing that Sandia is just right in front of me, but I don't know what happened. And we're seeing that Zodiac is just behind us, down outside of the points. That was the driver who was into the outside and in the wall, head on with us. So I don't know what happened to him. I think he might spin and get into the wall, making a 180-degree turn, and well, we're seeing that Sandia is going into the pits, and I think he's got some front wing damage, and we're seeing that of course Zodiac went to the pits, and well, we are up 8 P9. We are once again into the point, so at least we're making progress, and we're making a little comeback. Hope we can get up more places. Meanwhile, seconds after the virtual safety car ended, we're seeing that Bernie has paused the game and is controlling him. That made me overtake him extremely easy, and we are up into P8. Now we can have 4 points into our championship, and we almost found exit in turn 9, and another virtual safety car got deployed. I don't know what's happening, but we're seeing that Michaelos is going very slowly during the virtual safety car. Maybe he'll catch once again the delta pace, and we are 1.5 seconds lower than the delta pace now. We're 0.7 seconds, and lap 7 begun, and we are heading into turn 1, and the virtual safety car is ending right now, and it ended right now, and racing is once again, and hope we can come back, as I said earlier, and let's see how many surprises we can get. Meanwhile, we are up in P7 one lap later, on lap 8, because one driver boxed for, I don't know which tires, I think it was Johan, the one who boxed, and we are about to begin lap 9. We have begun, and we're seeing that Jordan is out of the race, and that deployed their full course safety car. It was virtual, but now it got into a full course safety car, and we're seeing that Verstappen also retired from the race. So it is 2 separate DNFs, I think so, in just in seconds. Well, I decided to just go for hard tires and maintain with those tires until the end of the race. So let's do that and hope we can get a nice comeback. We are in P6. Meanwhile, we are heading into the pits, and we're seeing that heading to pit lane. We're seeing that corner Kai. We didn't got any corners. We just got into the pit lane. Yeah, it's just the game being broken. Hope they fix in the next in the next set of patches. Hope they fix that thing, because it's just going to generate controversy. They might get 3-second time penalties, the drivers, just because they went into the pit lane, and they had just 1 or 2 warnings. And yeah, that's not acceptable that I get the corner cut warning for just entering the pit lane. Hope they fix that thing. Meanwhile, we are going into the bunching up field, and meanwhile we are heating up the tires, and after that let's just wait until the safety car ends. And the wait for the safety car to end is happening at the end of lap 11. In other words, now. And well, hope we can get a good relaunch. And meanwhile we are heating up a little bit my tires, enough to get into the optimal temperature. I have to be way more aggressive because they are on the hard tires, and yeah, that means that I have to hit way harder than the other compounds. And we have begun lap 12, and racing is once again. And we are heading into turn 4, which isn't really a corner, and we're seeing that Churrasco is trying to overtake Michaelos, or planning to overtake him, maybe in the straight, but we begun the first straight, and let's see if he is about to overtake him, but maybe he won't do that thing. And we are about to end this straight and heading into turn 6, and we are braking a little bit decently, and we are seeing that exiting turn 7, we are seeing that, well, it is all decent, so I don't know, but maybe we should still be in P6, and I think these drivers are going to fight until death and just go for it. So, because I think they might just know that they'll destroy their tires, and they might be overtaken by myself. So, well, let's see if they are going to fight, or they're just going to manage their tires and there's no fight. Just a lap later, we are heading into a chicane that separates the two straights, and we're seeing that there! Ooh, we're seeing that happen on side, and my mechas have gone into each other, and well, we are up into P4, so that's an advantage for us. And we're seeing that Bernie is trying to overtake me, and that's going to be very humiliating because he's a slower driver. I am faster than him, but maybe he might be faster than me in Abu Dhabi. But we're seeing that Bernie is trying to overtake me around the outside into the hotel section, but he failed to do that thing. And well, hope I can defend my position and still be in P4. Lap 13 is ending, and we begin lap 14, and we're seeing that Jovan has a 3-second time penalty, and DRS is now enabled. So that will mean that Bernie can overtake me, but it might be easier for him because he'll have DRS, because he's less than a second behind me. So yeah, I think I'll be down to P5 in a matter of seconds, and that might happen right now. And Bernie is trying to overtake me. He's overtaking me into the outside. I decided to not give much effort, and into turn 6 I decided to just let him pass, and that means that I'll have DRS into the second straight, and I might overtake once again. And look at Bernie's ERS, he's run out of it. We make contact, and into turn 9 I once again ran wide. Oh man, I don't think turn 9 means an overtaking opportunity, and yeah, I cannot overtake him, but at least I have more chances remaining. And we are about to end lap 14, and we're seeing that Bernie is getting a threat of myself to overtake him. And we are beginning lap 15, and hope I can overtake him in the straights. And and get up into P4 and maintain that position for a long while. That comeback is getting a little bit successful, and we're seeing that Bernie is so slow that I just tried to overtake him into turn 5, into the inside, and I got DRS, and we made a little bit of contact, and yeah, I just overtook him very easily, and we are up into P4. Well, let's wait until the second straight, if Bernie doesn't overtake us. As you can see, I just knocked a little bit my rear brakes, and yeah, as a result I didn't have DRS, and fortunately Bernie didn't overtake us, and into turn 9 he went to the outside, and you know, going around the outside to turn 9 is not a good thing, and this is your time, so yeah, we are maintaining P4 and hope we can catch the other cars ahead of me and get into the podium position. Meanwhile, on lap 20, we ended lap 19 and we are on lap 20. We are seeing that we're catching Churrasco, and Michael got 3 second time penalty, but the virtual safety car got deployed because Memekes is out of the race, and the safety car is now deployed. It was from a virtual safety car all the way to a full color safety car. I was catching my close because I thought I was going to be like second place, and I just realized, well, not realized, but I was just thinking before the safety car that my close had to pit because he was a lot of laps with medium tires, and it's just 9 laps to go, and his mediums I don't think he'll last for the entire race, and I was about to overtake Churrasco in the next few laps, and I was just thinking, well, I can get P2 maybe, and the full course safety car got deployed, and well, I decided to just go for soft tires. Let's see if someone else or maybe everyone boxes for softs. I think everyone will do, because it's going to be 9 laps to go, and also it's just safety car, like 2 out of 9 laps, maybe 3, and we are now heading into pit lane, and we are seeing that for another time we got another warning for corner cutting, and that was the same reason why Churrasco got a 3 second time penalty. Damn. Maybe I won't get P2 by the penalties, maybe I will get demoted to 3rd place because they could remove their penalties after seeing that. Well, I almost jumped Churrasco, I almost jumped him, but I was talking about that. This is going to generate controversy because you got corner cut just because you entered the pit lane. This is a glitch that should be fixed by the end of this year, maybe in like a month or 2, but hope it is at the end of this year. Hope they do that thing. EA, please do that thing. Meanwhile, we are getting to the bunched up field that is bunching up, and we are heating up our tires. In this time we are not as aggressive with the hards because it is now with the soft tire, so it gets easier to heat up. So yeah, let's just wait until the safety car ends and hope these penalties isn't enough evidence to get scrapped this warning. So well, let's see. In reality, I'm not hoping because there's just a glitch that shouldn't be happening, and well, I got lucky that I didn't get all warnings because I stopped 2 times and got 2 warnings, and if I get one more I get a penalty, but I was clean with the track limit, so yeah, that's the reason I just didn't get the penalty, because I just only have 2 warnings. So now let's just wait until the safety car ends, and that wait for the safety car to end is going to happen at the end of lap 22. In other words, in this lap and we're seeing that the tires are barely at the optimal temperature, well, at least at the carcass temperature in the edges, and we are about to race once again, and we are entering lap 23, and we're seeing that Michaelos and Churrasco both have 3-second time penalties, but I may just only get all the way up into P3 by the penalties, because Churrasco got 3-second time penalty because he got the corner, but he was just going to the pits, but maybe he'll get his penalty removed, and he'll be back to P3, so maybe we should overtake him on track. And we're seeing that Jovan is trying to overtake us down the inside into turn 6, and I was trying to defend my position. I decided to brake late, and I decided to just give him space in order to give him a fair battle. And we're seeing that there's battle for P6, and we're seeing that Jovan is overtaking us, and unfortunately he overtook us extremely cleanly, and he's up into P4. But remember that I'm still in second place as long as they don't get removed their penalties by that controversy. We are heading to hotel section, and we're seeing that I might get into P5. That's just a little bit unfortunate, but well, let's see if we can get a rematch and overtake Jovan and the others as well. Then on lap 25, I was trying to overtake Jovan down the inside, and I almost crashed into him. I was too fast, and he moved a little bit, and we're seeing exiting 37. We're seeing that Michaelos spawned, and we're up into P4. So if we overtake Jovan, we're up into the podium positions, and it might be officially, despite Churrasco and Jovan both having 3-second time penalties. But remember that they might get penalties because 1 or 2 of their warnings are for corner cutting, but in reality they were just getting to the pit lane, so they might get their penalties removed, and that'll mean that I'll just end up in 4th place. But well, let's see if we can overtake Jovan and at least get 3rd place. And GRs got enabled on the previous lap, and I was trying to overtake Jovan down the inside into turn 6, but yeah, I was just too fast, and Jovan just moved a little bit unsurprisingly, and I almost spun. I was a little bit stressed and didn't dive bomb him down the inside, so let's see if we can overtake him in this time. I deployed almost all of my ERS, and in this time I could overtake him very easily, and into turn 6 I'm all the way up into 3rd place. We're seeing that Tamal is on mediums, and he also fell victim of the 3-second time penalty glitch. That maybe one of the warnings was because he went to the pits, but the game registered as corner cut, but that shouldn't be. And Jovan we overtook us, and on this time I decided to not go for the launch at turn 12, and instead I decided to just wait until the first straight at the next lap. Yeah, that's just a little bit terrible for me, but well, hope I can re-overtake him. And well, I think this is gonna be a battle for 3rd place, but maybe not. Maybe that'll convert into a fight for 2nd place if we catch Churrasco, but well, let's see. Then seconds later we're seeing that we catch Churrasco, and he is less than 0.5 of a second ahead of Churrasco, and him I'm referring to Jovan, and we're seeing that he's overtaking down the inside into turn 9, and we're seeing that Churrasco has gone a little bit wide, but I couldn't overtake him, and we are seeing that Churrasco is on threat of being overtaken by myself. And look at his ERS, his rear light is popping up, turning on and off, so that means that his ERS is less than 15%. Well, not anymore, but maybe in the straights he may run out of PRS, and I'm trying to not overtake into turn 1, although I have chances, but I decided to just stick with him because I was just thinking that it won't be worth it to overtake him into turn 1 because he'll have DRS, and I decided to just dive bomb him down the inside into turn 5. Epic overtake from myself, and Churrasco has done a switchback for me, but he couldn't overtake me. So we are up officially into 3rd place. We're seeing that the gap between Jamal and myself is now 6.4 seconds, and Joan has left the session, and the AI is controlling him, and well, that's not a good thing for him, but a good thing for me, because we are up into P2, and Happy Bonsai is trying to overtake me, but he couldn't, and well, aiming for the race win won't be possible, because look at the gap. It's now 6.6 seconds, now 6.5, but it is now back to 6.7 seconds, and Sandia retired from the race, so we are now only 6 runners, and we are about to begin the final lap of the race, of the final race of the season 9 of Elite Racing League. And after a tough season of having problems with my steering wheel in the first 2 rounds, not assisting round 3, although I was a reserve driver back in those rounds, but still I couldn't participate. Well, I wasn't available because I was outside my house having an important event. And round 4 I was all the way having chances to fight for podiums, maybe for the race win, but ended up DNFing because I crashed with the safety car. That's just very terrible and ridiculous. Round 5 they didn't meet me, but round 6, 7, and 8 and 9 I couldn't participate. Well, I wasn't available, but round 8 and 9 I was now a full-time driver, but I couldn't participate because these 4 rounds I was outside of my house. And round 10 I was back, but unfortunately I just got a terrible thing and finished P9. And then rounds 11, 13, I mean rounds 12, 14 and 15 finished P2, and rounds 11 and 13 I couldn't participate by the THR Ragnaroks, and we are about to head into the final corner to finish P2. Damn, what a season. Battled the entire lap, my entire season, and that concludes my tough season, season 9. It's all over. It's all over for season 9. Unfortunately for Tamal, his team lost the Constructors' Championship by 2 points, and the chat, he expressed his emotions, and he was just very depressed, according to him, and yeah, he was satisfied with that, and I think he isn't happy with his life. But meanwhile for us, unfortunately, we got for the first time in Elite Racing League a winless season. Despite that, we got 3 second places in the last 3 races I participated, and here we are in the podium ceremony. What a race, what a race. Alright, so here it is, the race results. Tamal finished first, 3.4 seconds ahead of me, who finished in second place, of course, and I was the only driver who finished the race who didn't get penalized according to the game. Happy Bonsai finished third place, Churrasco finished 4th, Johan finished 5th, and Bernie finished 6th position, which is last place. From Sunday on, these drivers retired from the race. There weren't a lot of entries in this race, maybe because they were seeing that it was no longer worth it, or maybe because they thought that the race was no longer worth it, or maybe the championship standings were now down for them. But we're seeing that there were no McLarens, and that meant that we were from 9th in the constructors all the way up into 8th position in the constructors. So at least I give us a little of a push, but yeah, half of them finished the race, and just 7, which is Sandia, despite not finishing the race, but he got classified as 7th. And there we go, guys. The season is over, but the day isn't over for me. I haven't told that since the beginning of the race, but I have another race to do on that same day, which is HRL Racing League run number 8, Singapore. And after that, I was just taking a little break, and then I decided to just practice, and with that, this ends the season of Elite Racing League. But we have a race to do, and let's get into the next race. Alright, so we are on the second race of the day, the Tuesday grind, I'm going to say, because yeah, it'll be a little bit tired, but hope I can perform well in this second race. And yeah, let's just begin the qualifying session of HRL Racing League round number 8 in Singapore. And well, hope I can do this thing very good, as well as on Elite Racing League at the season finale. So let's do that thing and begin our out lap. Alright, so we are on our out lap, but unfortunately I gotta say that, and it is that yeah, I'll be busy in those days, and well, I'm reserve driver in this league, but that meant that, well, despite replacing the drivers, I won't be available after this race to replace the drivers in this league. I mean Alpha Tier, because yeah, the race is like 9 p.m. At my local time, and it's pretty late for me. 8 p.m. it'll be acceptable for me, but 9 p.m. It is just a little bit bad. But we are seeing myself heading to set a lap time, a decent one, and hope we are doing this thing. Theirs is wide open, although I'm thinking I didn't do turn 5 greatly, and we are ending sector 1 with a personal best, obviously, because we haven't set a lap time, and this is the first lap time I'm doing in this session, so it'll be obvious I'll get a personal best. And we are about to get into the Singapore Sling, aka turn 10, and we just cut smoothly down to third gear. We are about to exit the bridge, and we are heading into turn 13, and DRS is going to be open right now, and now it's open, and we are seeing that ending sector 2, it's a 104.061. I don't know, it may be decent, but well, let's see if sector 3 will be as decent as the other sectors. But we are heading into these technical corners of sector 3. We're into the famous turn 18, we are now heading to turn 20 and now exiting turn 21, and we're about to end this lap. Turns 22 and 23 a little bit easy, but the doors opened and we just finished a lap time with the 137.198, which puts us into provisional pole position. Although I know that I won't maintain my pole position, and well, as you could see, Alex got a better lap time as me, just seconds after I set my lap. So that'll be a tough one if I want to get pole, but let's just give it a try at least. So maybe I will qualify like P8 or P7, but at least let's just try. Maybe we could get into the front row at least, or maybe P3. Then on my second flying lap, which in this time it was on a new set of soft tires, as you could see. I just got a snap of oversteer exiting the Singapore sling, and to make things worse, I got a terrible entry into turn 13. I just went very badly with the brakes. Maybe I just braked too violently, I think so, or maybe I just got some oversteer. But we're seeing that the front brake bias is up into 54% instead of 53%, as I grabbed from the time trials, and we are about to finish the lap time, which is 1.1 seconds lower, now 1.2, and I decided to not finish the lap time and instead going into the pits and into the garage. I went till the 2-minute mark. As you can see, the reason why I decided to not finish my lap time is because it's 5 minutes before the qualifying ends, and I wasn't gambling at all that. Well, in other words, and I was to try to say something, but well, I have to say it in another way, which is, if I would finish that lap time, I would do the in lap, and maybe that'll take more than 2 minutes. And yeah, I was a bit scared that it'll be the timer will be when I just entered the garage, like 2 minutes 30, and my teammate will get into the garage and make me the process of leaving the garage way slower, and that'll impede me to reach the finish line to start my lap time, because that could happen after qualifying ended. So yeah, I'm not going to risk that thing. And well, we are just setting our new soft tires. Remember that I just chosen I have chosen the softer tire location, so I have 4 sets of softs, and 3 of them I'll use it for qualifying, and that'll mean that of these 3 laps will be on new softs, and 1 will be saved from the race. Hope you understand that I said 1 and not while, but yeah, sorry about that. But that meant that I'll just have 1 set of medium tires instead of 2, and that's the main reason why I usually choose the balanced tire location, because I'm just in case there is a safety car mid-race, and I have just begun like in hard tires, then box for mediums, and then the safety car happens like mid-race, and then I have to box for mediums. Yeah, that is why. Meanwhile, we are waiting until the 2-minute 20 mark, not the 2 minutes, because the lap time is too long. And well, as you can see, I'm just changing my soft tires, and I'm now leaving the garage. Hope I can do this lap time extremely well. Alright, so we are about to begin our final flying lap of this session. We are seeing that we dropped down to 4th place, and hope we can make a way better lap time. We are on our new soft tires, so that means that I should get better, and maybe I'll have more grip because of the track evolution. And we're seeing that unfortunately, getting each turn 5, we are losing 600 of a second, but we're seeing that there was no difference in gaining exiting turn 6. So I mean turn 5, and we are now heading into sector 2. Well, we are now there, and we are about to enter turn 9, and we're seeing that we are now gaining 2 per hundredths of a second. I tried to improvise there, and I almost hit the wall, and we are able to enter turn 13, and on this time I was just getting it decently. At least we are just barely gaining 100th of a second, and we are into turn 14, and we're seeing that we're now gaining 1/10 of a second, and we are heading into these technical corners. Alex sets a per lap time, and we are seeing that we are overall gaining 5/10 of a second, and we are now ending these technical corners, and we're heading into the last corners, turns 22 and 23. Unfortunately, I just lost some time, and overall we improved 4/10 of a second, and we set a lap time of 1:36.702, which puts us, surprisingly for me, into 3rd place. I expected to be like maybe in the front row, maybe into pole, but yeah, I didn't expect to just be in 3rd, but well, at least it isn't that bad. 3rd place, at least I just gained a place. It could be worse. I could just set that lap time and still maintain 4th place, but now qualifying is over, and let's just get into the qualifying results, although you have seen there, but I'll explain more details seconds later, so let's head now. Alright, so here it is, the qualifying results. Alex got the pole position, which I got a little bit surprised, given that it's an Alpine and it's Wiroski's teammate, and I didn't know that he was that fast. And then Wero, who has betrayed our team, he has moved from THR all the way to XRX, qualified in the front row but not on pole. I qualified 3rd, Raptor 4th, Buck in 5th, Churrasco in 6th, Mochis in 7th, Wiroski in 8th, Jumpuck in 9th, my teammate, Samuel in 10th, and Arcade, Ochoa, Farfan, and Lomelin are the ones who qualified outside of top 10 but inside of the top 14. Although I think that Arcade was the last one, or maybe Samuel was the last one who set a proper lap time, because I'm seeing that Arcade set a lap time 3.5 seconds lower than Alex, and Ochoa set a lap time 4.2 seconds than Alex, and Farfan 5.4 seconds lower. But the real one that didn't even set maybe didn't even try, was Lomelin, who qualified 15 seconds lower than Alex, and he was on mediums. If the 107% rule was implemented, I don't think neither Farfan and Lomelin would qualify for the race, and we would have just only 12 starters. So, well, at least they are lucky that the 107% rule doesn't exist in the game, so they can head into the race, and so was we. So here it is, the pre-race strategy. It's going to be a hard medium strategy, the default one. As usual, no car setup changes for the race, and we've lowered the fuel down to 54.1 kilograms. Hope we have a safety car, but if not, well, I'm just trying to be a little bit conservative, just in case I don't want to overtake some drivers and want to to just go for the long game and manage my tires. Hope I get the second option, but that is it. That is the pre-race strategy. Let's head to the race. Remember that there's no formation lap. Alright, so we are about to begin the race. We're waiting for the other players to load, and now they have. The 5 red lights have turned on and it's lights out, and we are on the way for the Singapore race in HRL Tier 1, and we're seeing that Widow, well, squeezed me out, but still I maintain my P3, so nothing crazy there, but I almost got it's not off over still, well, I got but I almost won, but the safety car got deployed because one driver got retired. I don't know who was that driver, but yeah, the important thing that one driver retired, and that means that after the safety car I won't need to conserve my fuel anymore, but still I have to conserve my tires in order to not deteriorate. Although I don't have to worry too much because I'm on hards. I have to worry if I'm on soft tires because I can overcook them. It could get like into the overheating zone, but it's lap 1, so we are staying out. And during the race start, I don't usually say my emotions during the race start, but in this one that was very stressing. I was extremely stressed, and yeah, I was a little bit scared. I also got scared in the final laps of Abu Dhabi in Elite Racing League season finale. Yeah, I was also stressed, and I was still stressed at this point. As I said, we're staying out because we're on hard tires, and also it's just lap 1, so and also we just only have one set of medium, so yeah, that's the reason why we are staying out. And I think that's the obvious choice, unless one driver started on softs and they have chosen the balanced set of tire allocation, or maybe also he had a front wing destroyed. We are heading to the safety car, and we are waiting until it ends. Meanwhile, we are maintaining our tires to the optimal temperature. Despite these tires being at 92 degrees Celsius, they'll drop down the temperature because we are going slower and also slow in the corner, so that means that there won't be much stress with the tires. So that means that the tires will get way colder, and maybe they can get down to the too cold zone. So let's not let that happen. Let's not let that. So let's just wait until the safety car ends. Meanwhile, doing that, and that wait for the safety car to end is going to happen at the end of lap 4. In our words, right now we are now in the middle of the tunnel that begins turn 19, I think. Yeah, turn 19. We have exited that corner, but we are about to begin racing once again, beginning lap 5. And this time, well, I'm just trying to not overtake Cuero, but we are seeing that I think I made contact with one driver, but fortunately I didn't get the 3-second time penalty. But we're seeing that because of that Raptor boxed, and maybe it was because he got a piece of the front wing broken, and you know, this circuit is technical and that needs much downforce, and well, his front wing got damaged, and that means that there's less downforce, so he went to the pits to get a new wing. That's just unfortunate for us. Well, hope he doesn't report me. We are now on lap 5, and I decided to just play the waiting game. I'm just managing my tires, and well, hope they are gonna fight until death to see them destroy their tires and overtake them later on. Maybe it will be too long. Maybe it will take like an entire stint. Maybe they'll box prematurely. But well, let's see. Everything can happen. But well, let's see if they are about to manage their tires, or maybe they'll fight to death and destroy their tires. Meanwhile, the waiting game is still on lap 7, and maybe they're not fighting, but we're seeing that Alex is going to box, even though he's on hard tires, and it's barely lap 7. We aren't even halfway, not even quarter to the race. In other words, I think I should say that we haven't even completed a quarter of the race, and Alex, I don't know why, but he decided to box. That might cost him a lot, or maybe he's just gambling at all, and maybe there's a safety car, I don't know, but I'm just still managing my tires, just in case that Agüero just gets way faster and destroys his tires by just increasing the gap between himself and myself. Meanwhile, we have exited turn 9 and we are about to enter the Singapore Sling turn 10, and we are into those technical corners, about to enter the bridge, which is exiting turn 12, and now we are passing through it, and we are about to exit turn 13, and we're seeing that the gap between Water and myself is now 1.1 seconds, now 1.2, and we are beginning sector 3 and exiting turn 14. We're seeing that Guero has a 3-second time penalty, and that means that because he is less than 3 seconds ahead of me, that means that he should be all the way down to second place, and I'm now leading the race. So it is from a waiting game to can I maintain my race lead with Guero. In other words, can I maintain the gap with him with less than 3 seconds? Hope we can. He doesn't drive godly, although maybe he will, but we're seeing that the gap is still maintaining the same. He got a terrible turn 3 exit, and that gave me the RS, I think, and yes, I got the RS, so yeah, that is now a game to maintain the lead of the race. I have to be careful as well, because I don't have to exceed the track limit, or else I'll give I'll get warnings, and maybe I'll get a 3-second time penalty for accumulating 3 warnings. So let's try to be careful, and let's also maintain the gap less than 3 seconds behind him in order to demote him down to second place by his penalty. We're seeing that Guero has got a terrible entry to turn 13. I almost overtook him, but decided to not do it, and instead I decided to just maintain a place. But well, let's see if this game that I'm playing works. Later on lap 13, well, almost nothing happened during that cut. The only important thing that happened was that the virtual safety car got deployed, but that didn't alter anything, so that's why I didn't show you. Meanwhile, we're still maintaining that gap, fortunately. It's just a patient game. We're just doing this until the end of the race, or maybe until the end of the stint, just in case we jump him in the pit lane. And we are heading into the last corner. We're seeing that Jose Hernandez retired from the race, and that deployed another safety car, the second one of this race, and that's going to alter a lot of things. And we almost overtook the safety car. We almost didn't do that thing. Fortunately, the safety car didn't get out of the pit lane after we what am I saying? Oh yeah, we are fortunate that we overtook the safety car before he exited the pit lane. If he exited the pit lane before we overtook it, That meant that we should be behind the safety car, and that'll be a tremendous disadvantage, because that'll mean that we have to wait until the end of this lap to box for mediums, and that'll bring a lot of trouble for us and will drop down places. Fortunately, that didn't happen. We are just going slowly. The lap, I mean, I don't know what am I saying, sorry about that misunderstanding. What am I trying to say is that we are just going slowly. You just match the delta time in order to not get penalized. And we're seeing that Widowski got the drive-through penalty. Well, he did not respect the delta time. Too bad for him. Meanwhile, we are about to end this lap, so we are about to pit. Hope we can jump Guero, or maybe I don't want to jump Guero and not overtake him after the safety car ends in order to get DRS. And also in order to manage a little bit my tires. We are now in the pit lane, and unfortunately I turned in too early that I get a slow stop. But that wasn't too bad, because in reality I didn't lose any positions, because look at the gap between Samuel and myself. Samuel is in 3rd place, meanwhile I'm in 2nd place. Well, it was at 37.8 seconds. That was very large, the gap. 38.1 seconds now. And he's also boxing. Maybe the gap is maintaining the same. And we're seeing that the gap between Widowski and myself, which he is now in 3rd place, he's closing the gap, because we are now in the safety car queue, and Widowski is about to join. Well, not about, because it'll take like seconds, maybe half a minute, because the gap is just too long. But what is true is that Widowski is going to be the first one to join us after us. But he'll be in a disadvantage because he has a drive-through penalty. But yeah. Meanwhile, we are just heating up our tires, and we are just waiting for the safety car to end, and hope it is soon. No, I don't hope it is soon, because we aren't halfway through the race and we are on mediums, and we are going with these tires until the end of the race, and I don't want to stress too much the tires too early, or else I'll deteriorate the tires and I'll be in a disadvantage, and maybe that'll cost me the race win. So let's hope that the safety car ends a little bit late, like lap 16 or 17. Hope that is the case. And the safety car is going to end at the end of lap 17, and we are ending right now, and racing is going to be once again restarted. We are now heading into turn 22, now about to exit the last corner, and we are now beginning racing once again. Lap 18, we are once again playing that game of maintaining the 3-second gap with Guero in order to promote myself to the race win by his penalty. And we are now, another safety car got deployed, and we are now just very slow because of the safety car. And well, on this time, the league owner, I was going to say the streamer, although yes, he is the streamer, the caster, the league owner, whatever you want to say, or Eddie, which is his username. I overheard him that it was going to be a red flag. It is going to be a red flag. I overheard him on his Twitch stream. I just kept turn on my computer at a very high volume in order to hear at least some bit of his audio from the living room, because it's a little bit far and also the walls and doors are just making the sound more silent than it should be. And oh boy, we just made contact with Guero, and well, fortunately we didn't get the penalty. I was just very scared, and I thought that that'll be done and it'll be over, the race win, because I would get the 5-second time penalty, but fortunately it didn't happen, and we are now going to move to another lobby. The reason why he triggered the red flag is because there are some issues with the game, and well, we're seeing that Widowski could get disqualified from the race because he's not serving his drive-through penalty, and there are more drivers retired from the race, and we're seeing that Eddie has left the session, so he'll create the lobby soon after it. So let's now move to this pre-race strategy. Well, I wouldn't say pre-race strategy, more like pre-restart strategy. Hope you understood the words I said before that, because I just realized that I don't think I have said those words clearly. Sorry about that, but I don't have much time. But let's now head to the pre-restart strategy, as I said seconds earlier. Okay, so here we are with the pre-race strategy for the restart. Before that, I'm just grabbing my setup. I won't forget about that. And also, I changed my brake bias all the way up into 54% instead of 53%. And given that we just restarted the race halfway through the race, the restart is on a 25% race distance, so we reduced the fuel down to 27 kilograms, and it's going to be a medium soft strategy. Hope there's no safety car at the beginning of the race, so let's now head to the race. But before that, let's just wait for the other players to get ready for it. Now we're just waiting for the fight brake lights being turned on. Now they are, and we are now about to begin the race, and it's lights out, and away we go for the restart of the race. And we're seeing that we overtook Guero into turn 1. I decided to just back off a little bit, and we are seeing that Guero and myself are the only two drivers where in the top 5 that started with mediums, but now Raptor is in the top 5 and he also started with mediums. So I don't know, maybe there's a mix between the drivers who started with soft tires and with mediums, but I don't know, maybe the drivers who started the soft tires are more amounts of drivers than the ones who started with mediums. Yeah, I was just getting a little bit lost with the words I was going to say, but meanwhile we're still playing the game of maintaining the gap between Guero and myself, which is less than 3 seconds behind him. And remember, despite not having the 3-second time penalty in this restart, I asked the caster if Guero's penalty will still be maintained, because we moved to another lobby, and that means that his penalty would get removed by the game. But he said that he'll still get the penalty, so we're still playing the game of maintaining the gap between Guero and myself, less than 3 seconds, in order to maintain the race win. Well, hope we don't get another warning, or maybe 3 warnings, but we just got a warning. The first warning of the race, Guero sets the fastest lap, so he might get a little bit further from us. As long as he isn't more than 3 seconds ahead of us, we're still leading the race. And well, as I said laps earlier, not seconds, minutes earlier. I have to be careful with the track limits. If I get 3 warnings, we'll get the 3-second time penalty. The driver retired from the race, but that didn't trigger the safety car because I think he retired from the pit lane, so there's no problem about that. So let's just still play with that game. Both watches retired from the race, and there's no safety car, so well, let's still play this game. Meanwhile, we are ending the 3rd lap of the restart, and I've got DRS, and fortunately that meant that I maintained the gap with Duero for now, and we're seeing that Draco retired from the race, and that deployed the full course safety car. It is the 4th lap of the restart out of 15. Man, we aren't halfway through the restart, and that means that we have to box 4 softs, and that means that we are on a disadvantage. Maybe we should consider staying out, but I don't know. If the engineer doesn't tell us to maybe box 4 softs, maybe we should consider staying out, or maybe we should gamble and box 4 softs, but the engineer recommended us, so that means that it'll be a safe option, to be honest. So, well, hope that gamble, not really a gamble, pays off. But yeah, they got lucky, the ones who started on softs, because they'll get a free pit stop, and also because they are going to box 4 mediums. That means that they'll gonna be in a little bit advantage in terms of tire wear. I was just checking which drivers were in which tires, and I just found out that most of the drivers were on soft and started on these tires, so maybe we are on a disadvantage, maybe, but well, let's just try to minimize the disadvantage. Meanwhile, we are slowly I was going to say terminating, but it is the wrong word. I should say finishing the lap to get into the pit lane and box 4 softs. Although I'm a little bit afraid that these softs won't get into the end, because that will mean that we'll be doing 11 laps with the soft tires, and remember that it is a 25% race distance, so tire wear is way different than the first 50% race distance. And the difference between the 25 and the 50 is that in 25 you get a worse tire wear because it's a shorter race, but the developers decided to just make the tires less durable in shorter race distance. So yeah, we have to take note of that. Meanwhile, we are heading to the safety car. We dropped down to 4th place because 2 drivers decided to just stay out. One is Raptor, I think, and the other is Churrasco. And we are heating up the tires, but in this time it is going to be less aggressive because the soft tires gets heated up faster. So let's just wait until this safety car ends. And the wait for the safety car to end is going to happen at the end of lap 6. So we'll have 9 laps to see if these soft tires are going to last until the end of the race. Raptor will have the advantage because I think he boxed for, I know, he stayed out, I forgot about it. The other driver, Churrasco, boxed later on. I don't know why he didn't box right after the safety car started, but yeah, I think he got a little bit a disadvantage, and maybe his rain got ruined. I was going to say rain, but yeah, that was to complete the world race. But we are now on lap 7 and with soft tires, so that means that I'll have more grip, and that means that in corner entries it'll be way faster, and we're seeing that there's battle between the Widow and Raptor for the race lead, and we're seeing that there will dwell into turn 9, where he's about to overtake Raptor down the inside, and we well, he's up into the race lead, but remember that he has a 3-second time penalty, so that means that he might get demoted to like 5th or 6th place. We are about to get into turn 13, and we are now exiting turn 13, and oh no! Unfortunately, I got too confident with the corner exit, and I thought that I would get that amount of grip, but unfortunately, I just overcooked my tires, and well, I just overtook Cherno, and we are up into P8. We were in P9, but that is just disastrous for us. I was just very stressed about it, and I don't know what to mean about it, but yeah, the thing is that we are on a disadvantage, and we need to come back right now and use these soft tires. Maybe the soft tires are overcooked, and we're seeing that Raptor is going to the pits, so 1 position gain, and we are on to P7, but hope we can use the most with the soft tires, and we are about to overtake Arcade Zero, the only one that I know that he isn't Mexican in this league. He is from El Salvador, I think. Well, the RT isn't enabled in this lap. It is going to be enabled at the next lap, and I just overtook him, and we are up into P6. At least we are doing some comeback, but yeah, that is just terrible for us. If I didn't make that mistake, we should be in like P3, maybe P2, maybe into race lead, applying the penalties from Güero, and we're seeing that the tires are at 103 degrees Celsius in one of them, not at 104. I don't know, maybe I'm just overcooking the tires and maybe they'll deteriorate, but yeah, I was just a little bit angry about it, and I wanted to be as fast as possible and be an aggressive one, but unfortunately that'll be extremely hard to overtake these drivers, because the gap between myself and the next driver is 2.3 seconds, and second, he is my teammate, the one who is ahead of me, so that'll be very difficult. Maybe he won't let me pass, but maybe he will, but Güero sets the fastest lap. I don't know, but it'll be a tough one. Unfortunately, I couldn't overtake anyone. Despite that, still the gap got close a little bit, from like 2.4 seconds all the way down to 1.7 seconds, but there's battle for P3 for the podium, and we are seeing that Samuel has a 3-second time penalty, so that means that I can be up into P5, even though I didn't overtake him. As long as I am 3 seconds behind him or less, I'll still be in P5, but we're seeing that Samuel is very back, and I decided just do a dap bomb into turn 8, and I just got anchored, and no, you cannot do this to me. He didn't back off, man. Yeah, sorry about that, but it may sound that I just rammed him into the wall, but he didn't back off, and I almost got karma slightly instantly, because I almost crashed into the wall and spun and destroyed my front wing, but fortunately I just saved the car. If it wasn't by that, it'll be karma. It'll be karma from ramming into the wall. Yeah, ramming someone into the wall, and yeah. One thing I almost forgot to say is that in one time my tires were too overcooked, that they were in the overheating zone. They were like 107 degrees Celsius, and we're seeing that Güero is struggling with the sub tires. I don't know what's happening to him, and we are seeing that he's going slowly in the corners, and I couldn't go fast, and we're seeing that he has a front wing damage, and he is run out of ERS. There's 2 laps to go, and my teammate is now 3.3 seconds ahead of me, and I overtook him. Well, him, I'm referring to Güero. I'm up into P4. Unfortunately, the gap has now come too much that that seems impossible to overtake him, unless he spins or crashes into a wall and damages his front wing, and that meant that he needs to box, or well, just 2 laps to go, so he wouldn't box, or maybe he would destroy his front wing and lose him like 3 seconds per lap, or maybe DNF. But that case, he won't do that thing, because I've seen in the previous 2 races that he might be a little bit clean, so I doubt that he'll do those mistakes. And also, he is in the middle of nowhere, so maybe he won't be that pressurized. I mean, so he's up into P3, and well, at least it is my teammate, so that will be a huge plus for the team. At least it is a 3-4 for the team. Yeah, if it wasn't by that, although I thought that the situation of that spin wouldn't be that bad, because still my tires will be so deteriorated. The reason why was slow is because he had his front wing damage, so maybe I could still be in the race lead, maybe down into P2 or P3, but just like that. And we are now into the final lap of the race, and we are ending that very long endurance, that 2 race marathon, because it was going to be like more than 4 hours. Yeah. First it was the THR Ragnarok, which I couldn't complete because I had to assist the Elite Racing League season finale, and then this race, and I almost ran wide and crashed into the wall. But yeah, unfortunately the second race, which is this, wasn't as good as I was expecting, but still, P4, it could have been worse. I could end up like Güero, or maybe, I just saw in the replays that with that spin I touched the wall. And I was fortunate that I didn't damage my front wing. The car got intact, so yeah, I was a bit lucky with that. And the gap is now reducing down to 2.2 seconds. The gap between my teammate and myself, and Alex wins the race, and Wiroski finishes 2nd place, which means it is a 1-2 for Alpine. And I'm a bit ashamed because Wiroski finished ahead of me, and I know that he's been slower than me. And Jumpak finished 3rd, and I finished 4th. Well, I think he'll finish 5th, and Raptor 6th, Churrasco and Arcade a 7-8 for Alfa Romeo. Cherno finishes 9th, unless he DNFs or spins, and Farfan could finish last, and we're seeing that Güero has his front wing completely destroyed. But yeah, that is the race. That is it. Let's now head to the race results. So here it is, the race results. Alex and Wiroski both make a 1-2 for Alpine. Jumpak, my teammate, and myself makes a 3-4 for McLaren. Although, if it wasn't by that mistake I made, I could have won the race, maybe. Or maybe to P2 at least. Yeah, that is just terrible for me. Although, fortunately, I didn't end up like Güero, who finished 5th place with a damaged front wing. Raptor, despite setting the fastest lap, finished P6, but at least he got 1 more point. So instead of getting 8, he got 9 points. Churrasco and Arcade Zero make a 7-8 for Alfa Romeo, and I just see that Arcade Zero is El Salvadoran, so yeah, just to confirm, Cherno finished 9th, and Farfan, well, Cherno and Farfan are the only ones who finished more than a minute behind the race winner, but despite that, they didn't end up being lapped. And yeah, just only 10 drivers finished the race, and yeah, that is it. Finally, I could rest now after just 3 races on this tier as a reserve driver, but unfortunately I'm no longer available to replace John Buck's teammate at McLaren anymore. That's a little bit unfortunate for me, but hope they get some nice races, some decent ones, and hope that my teammate isn't alone without me, and hope he finds another teammate. So that is it. Hope you have enjoyed this long video, but not that long if you have watched the separate videos, but if you have watched the united parts, it should be a long video for you. And see you guys in the next race. Goodbye.